Welcome everyone to our first ever virtual ePortfolio showcase. We have 4 amazing presenters who will be showcasing their ePortfolio today. I would like to introduce our ePortfolio director to talk more about the event. Our director is Pablo Avila.
Thank you, Marwa. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone is doing well and safe. Welcome to our event. I want to not only thank all of you for attending this first virtual ePortfolio showcase, but at the same time, acknowledge the tremendous work and effort of the ePortfolio team. You see all of them up on the screen. They've done tremendous work for putting together the outstanding event, and also thank our presenters. The ePortfolio showcase is a tradition at Laguardia. If you're joining us from outside the college, we do this every semester. Given our current circumstances, we did not want to stop the tradition, and we're now doing this virtually. We have 4 presenters from different disciplines who will showcase the outstanding ePortfolio work that they have done in their respective disciplines. The core ePortfolio work at Laguardia covers a range of things, from first-year seminar courses to courses in the discipline. You will see a range of different disciplines represented in this showcase, and you will see different examples of student work at different junctures of their academic journey. So we thank the faculty who have worked with these student presenters. We thank the students for making the effort to present their work in this virtual event, and also the ePortfolio team for putting together a great event as well. I want to introduce my colleague Thomas, who will share some of the resources that we have been communicating to the college, but we want to make sure that you are all aware of, especially resources during distance learning. So let me go ahead and stop my sharing, and Thomas, I'll hand it over to you.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Thomas Jesfuliosi. I'm the ePortfolio project manager. And as Pablo mentioned, I want to kind of just go through and show everyone. Well, first, I want to thank everyone for coming down or being part of our showcase today. I just want to show you a couple things on our website for where you can access help for when you're working with ePortfolio. So hopefully you can all see my screen right now. This is our ePortfolio website. You can reach the ePortfolio website at eportfolio.laguardia.edu. And a couple of things I want to point out are going to be our support page. And on our support page, we have information about support that we supply for students and for faculty. We also have a link to our virtual workshops. So when I click here, this will take us to a page for the description about what we will be offering during our virtual workshop. So anyone who is in need of help with ePortfolio, we are offering these online virtual workshops that anyone can sign up for. Once you read through the description as to what we offer during these virtual workshops, you can sign up for the workshop here, where we'll ask you to put in your name, your LaGuardia email, your input ID, your major, and what course you're going to be using this for. Further down the list, we have the available days for when we have the workshops that are going to be upcoming soon. We still have a few more of them left. We have the one that's on Monday, June 6th, and Wednesday, June 3rd. So you guys can sign up for that. But we will be offering more, so this list will be updated. And also, what we want to go to is the tutorial page. So anyone who is accessing ePortfolio from home, was working on ePortfolio during distance learning, if you cannot get in contact with us, or if you can't attend one of those meetings, you can always look at our website to our support page, and you're just going to go to tutorials, and we will have all the tutorials we need to know about building or editing your portfolio. We have a new section that's further down at the bottom where we start addressing some troubleshooting issues, where people who are having issues with accessing portfolio or having issues with it displaying properly. There are some troubleshooting techniques that we have there, and we will be adding to this list as the semester progresses. And if you need to get in contact with any one of us, you can also take a look at our contact page, where we have all of the ePortfolio consultants' emails and our extension numbers for our offices. But that's going to be when we go back. And if you also need to contact just a general question to the ePortfolio, you can also reach us at our ePortfolio email address. So anything that anyone may have missed, I will be posting that information in the chat, the links to all of the pages I just showed you, but the forms and the tutorials. So I will post it into the chat for everyone in case anyone did miss anything. Pablo, back to you.
Thank you, Thomas, and let me put this back. Okay, so now I want to bring to the stage Eric Kaufman, our Assistant Dean of Academic Affairs and also the Director of the CTL, for some welcome remarks. Eric?
Great. Thank you, Pablo. My stage is not much of a stage, but this screen here. I first just want to say that in these unprecedented times, it's great that we're also just doing this virtually for the first time. I really want to thank the students especially for being here to showcase the work that you've been doing. I just want to say a few things and picking up on something that Pablo said initially. So we're looking at core portfolio practice here at LaGuardia, and we started this in earnest really about 3 years ago when we had an updated platform, really, the whole design of the Digication platform. And I want to welcome some members of the Digication team who are here today watching this. We've worked in very close partnership with Digication for years, and it's great to see the culmination of 3 years of this work. Some of the students here may have started in fall of 17 with the very first version of that new platform, and it's just come along so far in these 3 years. And so thank you to that team and for your partnership in this work. The core portfolio practice for us is, primarily about learning, but it's so many dimensions of student learning. And we think about the portfolio as the learning portfolio, but for events like this, the showcase aspect of that, not only is you're showcasing it for your fellow classmates and your teachers, your instructors, some of you are showing this to families, some of you are now thinking about this for transfer and career, and that idea of the transition from your learning portfolio to the showcase portfolio is something that we've really been keying in on, really in the work that we've been doing over the past year or so. To that end, I want to thank all of the faculty who are here, who have supported the students in portfolio practice, not just for your courses, but connecting across all of the courses that they're working on that use the portfolio. We have Edward today, who is going to showcase what he's been doing in liberal arts, math, and science work and with his faculty member. But we also cut across therapeutic rec, childhood education, and mechanical engineering, and all the faculty who are represented here, many of them who have been working on core portfolio practice in the mini grants that we've been supporting these past few years. I definitely want to thank all the students again. I want to thank all of the peers and the staff who have been supporting the portfolio practice, and especially the ePortfolio team that Pablo introduced here. Thank you for all of this work. I know it's been a really, really difficult semester for so many of us, but it's really great to celebrate toward the end of the semester with a showcase like this. And I can't wait to get started and see what you're going to present. So thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So moving along here, we are going to now get started with the presentations. That is what everyone is waiting for. Our presenters are ready. Here's how everything is going to work. We're going live on Facebook as well, by the way. We have an audience there as well. Each student is going to present. I'm going to introduce the students in just a moment. We will have each student present their ePortfolio, and as they do, we invite the audience to look at the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and suggest any questions, pose any questions to the presenters. Once all presentations are completed at the end, there will be some time for Q&A with the student presenters. So we encourage everyone to post questions. My colleague Thomas is going to be monitoring that, and my colleagues Jeannie and Derek are monitoring Facebook as well. So let's go ahead and meet the presenters. First, we're going to hear from Choi Albano. She is a mechanical engineering student, but also a student technology mentor and STM at Laguardia. She's going to share her ePortfolio work at the beginning. Then we're going to hear from Yenitza Jones. She is a current therapeutic recreation major student at LaGuardia, about to graduate. So we're going to see the culmination of all of her disciplinary work that she's done in her portfolio. Then we're going to meet Nancy Meza-Torres. She is a childhood education major and a peer advisor as well. So we're going to hear some of the work she's done in both ends in just a moment. And finally, we're going to hear from Edward Molina. He is a liberal arts, math and science major and started his ePortfolio in the business BTF 101 first year seminar. So he's going to show us all of that work. So again, the presenters are going to showcase their ePortfolio in this order. We're going to go presentation by presentation, and then we encourage, as you hear the presentations, to pose your questions using the Q&A button. And then after all presentations are over, we are going to devote some time for Q&A. So with that, I'm going to now turn it over to Joy. Are you ready?
Yes. Okay, just a second.
You can go ahead and share your screen and let's get started.
All right, there you go. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jooi Albano. I'm a mechanical engineering major, and this is my third semester at LaGuardia Community College. So I'm from South Korea, and actually, LaGuardia Community College is the fourth college I attended, including the ones I haven't really graduated from. So just like many of my fellow LaGuardians, I was an international student. Now I'm an immigrant student, and I'm also a returning student. So over here is my ePortfolio. So just like many of you guys, I created this ePortfolio for my freshman seminar class, but I decided to maintain it and update it every semester. So here it is, and a little bit about the design and the picture of me right here. As you can see, I'm holding this like a little plastic robot. So one of my hobby is model making. And these robots in the background are actually assembled by me, and I took pictures of them and I photoshopped them together here in the background. So that's a little bit about the design of my ePortfolio. So as I already said, I am an immigrant student, but also a returning student. And I also changed my major quite often. So I started as a Spanish major in Korea. And then when I moved here, I decided to pursue psychology major to eventually become a psychiatrist. And then I started taking this science classes, and I just kind of like really got mesmerized by the whole science aspect of the thing, and I just changed my major again to mechanical engineering major. I don't think I'm gonna change it again, so I'm gonna stick with this one. So over here in my first page, I think I did a pretty okay job detailing all those little aspects about me and my past experiences and past projects right here. And a page that would add on top of this about me page to really help explaining who I am is my goals page. So my main goal right now is to graduate from LaGuardia College and transfer to four-year college to eventually become a prosthetics major. Prosthetics engineer. So when I was researching how to become a prosthetics engineer, there was a lot of recommendations, a lot of different paths to follow, even with the major to choose, like, should I be biomedical engineering major or mechanical engineering major? So researching how to actually achieve my goal was really a great way to kind of set a path forward. And right now, I think I'm going to follow the mechanical engineering major pathway so I can have more diverse option in the future. So that was my goals page that would explain what I am doing right now. And here is another page that would help is my skills page. So this is part of skills that I think I possess. And here I wrote a little bit about where do I think my skills come from. And so this skills page and my goals page and the about me page together really explains to anybody who look at my ePortfolio who I am. And while I was creating all these pages, I was really able to get able to reflect on myself, reflect on what I have done so far, and eventually really decide to who I want to be in the future. So, okay, so as I previously mentioned, I updated my ePortfolio. It added pages as I took classes. And one of the pages I want to highlight is a physics class. And here are one of the physics lab report that we had to do. And I also made this lab report in LaTeX. It's a kind of a mock-up language that you use to write a lab report. So I wanted to show people not only I can solve problems experimentally, and I can also write my lab reports in LaTeX. And another class that I want to highlight is statics class. So statics is one of the most important class for engineering majors. And in this class, you're expected to solve a lot of advanced physics problems, basically. And I wanted to show that not only I can solve these problems, but I can do it in Python. So I included the Python program that I wrote for this class. And actually, this statics class and the physics class, they're both classes that I'm taking right now that are affected by current situation. So I can easily imagine people wondering if the quality of classes will be the same, are the contents being taught the same? So I thought it would be the best to kind of show my work that I did for the class so that people can see with their own eyes what kind of materials are being taught and the level of my understanding of the materials. Okay, and also just just compared to just writing on your resume just that you can do Python, I can do this, I can do that, versus actually showing the work that you did in said language. I believe the latter would be obviously more impactful for whoever is viewing my resume or a portfolio together. Joined, and let's see. So one of the other things that I want to show through my portfolio is that I was able to work at Laguardia Community College as a student technology mentor, but also a part of Q&E Service Corps. So actually, as a student technology mentor, I had to create another ePortfolio. So this is another ePortfolio that I had to create for my student technology mentor work. So as you can see, a lot of work for student technology mentors are related to ePortfolio. So ePortfolio actually got me a job. So that's awesome. And as I mentioned a lot of times throughout my presentation, that I think ePortfolio is a great platform to really tell your own story and show who you are. that can add on top of your transcript or your resume. So I believe ePortfolio really gives students great chance to stand out amongst the crowd, and I think it will open doors for many of you guys just as it did for me. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. That was great. Now we're going to hear from Yenitza, who's a therapeutic recreation. Yenitza, once you're ready. In the meantime, we continue to monitor both the Q&A and our live stream on Facebook. There's questions, there's comments. We're going to get to them once the presentations are up. So keep the questions and comments coming. So Yenitza, are you ready?
I am ready.
Go right ahead. You can share your screen and get started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yenitza Jones. And first, I would like to say that I hope everyone is doing well during this difficult time. But I am grateful that you are all tuned in today for this ePortfolio showcase. This is my last semester here at Laguardia, and I major in therapeutic recreation. So I will be showing you a bit of my ePortfolio throughout the whole program and highlight some things that I want to share with you. First, I want to say that not a lot of people know about this program. It is a program that is often overlooked, and I didn't even know about this program myself until I sought for advisement about changing my major. And another thing is that a lot of the times people think that this field is a job that just provides activities, which is true, but to some extent, we provide activities for the purpose of enhancing a client's well-being and quality of life. So moving forward, I will show you my About Me page. This is my main page. It tells you a little bit about me, where I'm from. As you can see at the top, it says I'm from Brooklyn. I still reside in Brooklyn. And then here I have a little bit of my hobbies and fitness. I've been practicing yoga for 2 years, maybe 3. Grew up watching boxing my whole life. I read from time to time, and I am big on creative expression. So you will see my creativity all over this ePortfolio today. Also, this About Me talks about my journey here at LaGuardia and also my goals. I came across therapeutic recreation because I was pursuing another career that didn't go as planned. So I did change my route, but my goals still remained the same. And that goal was to just simply provide to others. I find that very rewarding for myself. So that's why I wanted to be in this field. So now, here is my therapeutic recreation courses. These are all the courses that I have taken throughout this program. The first assignment that I would like to highlight is from my HTR 101 course with Professor Edwards. This course, this assignment was my accessibility survey PowerPoint. And I'm highlighting this because this assignment was very challenging for me. It required me to go outside and find a public area and to see if that public place was accessible for people with disabilities. What I had to do here was create a short PowerPoint slide, and I was required to make measurements throughout the whole facility. As you can see, this is a library. And on the second part of my project, I also had to interview someone who worked at the facility just to touch base on accessibility itself, and as well as programs that were offered at the library. So that part was in a written form, just a short, brief paper about the facility and the programs that were offered. So this assignment was an inquiry and problem solving competency. It took a lot of effort for me to complete this project, and I am very proud of it because I was never given an assignment where I had to go out and just go beyond researching through a computer. But I am really happy I did it. It allowed me to be hands-on, and it really helped me understand the importance of accessibility. So in my career, if I wanted to take a group of clients out, I would have to make sure that wherever I'm taking them, that place is accessible. So now the next assignment that I would like to highlight is from my HTR 102 course, and that is my leadership assignment assigned by Professor Battle. I'm highlighting this page because this was something that I really enjoyed doing. It required me to, well, first and foremost, this assignment was something that I had to create. I had to create an activity or choose an activity to conduct an activity analysis. And with an activity analysis, I had to explain the skills and the goals of each domain that for that specific activity. And then I had to lead a group session in class, which involved my colleagues to participate in my activity program. That activity was recorded, and I had posted that in the bottom of this ePortfolio page, but unfortunately I won't share that today because it's a pretty lengthy video, but just know that it's there. Overall, this assignment is an integrated learning competency. It allowed me to be creative. This was also hands-on, and it most importantly, it allowed me to see how I was able to lead a group session. And I don't only see this as an assignment, I see this as preparation because an activity analysis is something that I would have to do in the future. So the next assignment that I would like to highlight is my monthly activity calendar in my HTR 200 course with Professor Edwards. I'm sharing this one because it allowed me to be creative, and it also showed off my Excel skills. In this calendar, I had to create a calendar for a long-term care facility that I had made up, and it also provides activities that I have chosen to put on the calendar along with the location, the time, and the date. So this was another assignment that was beneficial to me, and it will also be beneficial to me in the long run because I will definitely have to make a lot of activity calendars in my career. Overall, what I found most meaningful to me about building this ePortfolio is that it was really fun to do. I really did enjoy creating each page for this assignment, for every assignment, and I was able to design and customize and just add my own little personality to it. I'm the type of person that wants to change things up. So each of my ePortfolio page has a different look to it, as you can see. And the way I design some of my pages relate to the content that I put in it. So you see here, my monthly activity calendar has it's April, so I put a spring theme behind it. But to be honest, ePortfolio wasn't, it didn't come easy for me. So the more I tried to navigate this website, the more I got better at using ePortfolio, and that has really enhanced my digital skills. Building this ePortfolio and to see what I have created in the end is a big accomplishment for me that I'm very proud of. And because of this accomplishment, I have shared this with a bunch of families and friends just to get a reaction and feedback from it. And looking at this ePortfolio, I can reflect on all the work that I have done throughout the school year. And it also shows me that I am very professional as a student and very creative. And then ePortfolio is also very useful for me in the future because I can use this to market myself and take advantage of this site to use for job interviews. So again, I would like to thank you all for your time. And
Great, thank you, Yenitza. Great work. And thank you to Jooi as well. So far, 2 different disciplines with great student work. We're going to continue and now hear from Nancy, who is a childhood education major and also a current peer advisor. We're noting the questions that are coming on the Q&A. There's also comments and questions coming from Facebook. So we're keeping a list and we'll make sure we address as many as we can once the presentations are completed. So Nancy, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Thank you.
You can go ahead and share your screen and get started. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nancy Meza-Torres. I'm a childhood education major, and this is actually my last semester here at Laguardia Community College. And today I want to present my ePortfolio to you. But before I do that, I would like to share you a bit about myself. So about me, I am 24 years old. All my life, I live here in Astoria, Queens, New York. My parents are from Puebla, Mexico. They actually immigrated to the United States in 1995. And in 1996, I was born. Being the oldest child and the first generation American, my parents had high expectations for me. They have a huge belief in education, and they always used to tell me, money comes and goes, but education stays with you forever. With that mindset in mind, I decided to pursue childhood education. Now I am 24 years old, and I couldn't have been more proud of myself than what I am now. This is my last semester. I'm the first child to go to college, and I'm about to get my associate's degree. I see myself as a leader. I am very responsible, and when I have a goal in my mind, I follow that goal really hard. My goal is to continue on to childhood education once I transfer to a 4-year college. I am very set in mind that I want to be a childhood educator. My goals. Throughout my time here at LaGuardia, the one thing we focus on was on our ePortfolio. Why ePortfolio, you may ask? Well, ePortfolio is a great tool to see how much growth and knowledge one has gained and grow throughout here in LaGuardia Community College. My ePortfolio allows me to plan out what courses to take and what will count towards my future. For example, my goals. It has helped me visualize my future and prepare myself for the following semesters ahead. Looking back at these goals, it has reminded myself why I want to become a teacher in the first place. Throughout this process of creating my ePortfolio, it has really allowed me to reflect on my past and connect with my future. It has really helped me feel more confident in myself. I will now be presenting my first year seminar course. And the project is called My Hero Project. During the first year of seminar, my professor, Elizabeth Clark, assigned us to do an assignment on ePortfolio, which I consider to have a huge impact in my life. This assignment is called My Hero Project. I chose Helen Keller as my hero. Why? Because when I first learned about Helen Keller, she achieved all her goals despite her disability. She really made me stop and think about that no matter what, no boundaries could stop you from achieving that goal. I live with that mindset as well. I believe with hard work and dedication, you can go anywhere in life. I would now like to talk about my ELN 120 course. ELN 120, American Education. This course taught me that the theories of political and cultural themes of education, such as the history of education and the pedagogy, which are the theories of teaching, Two of these theories that I would reflect on as a childhood educator would be Vygotsky's zone approximental development. This theory has really taught me that people with higher knowledge can teach others. As a teacher, I want to be that mentor to students. I would like to introduce them knowledge that they would need in order to be successful adults in society. Another theory I look up to is Bronfenbrenner, who developed his bioecological model that showed us that many influences such as religious belief and rules of society can really shape into the person you become today. During this course, one of the requirements was to complete fieldwork, hours at a public school, and write observation notes about it. In this link right here, I left my journal observation fieldwork. Earlier, I provided a brief description of two pedagogical theories. One of them was Bronfenbrenner, biological model. In this course, I wrote a paper about how the environment of high school dropouts can affect the likelihood of dropping out of high school. This course really was taught by Angela Cornelius and has really allowed me to connect with research of education as well as introduce me to pedagogy and the history of education. Next, I would like to share my capstone course. I feel like my capstone assignment page is important to showcase on ePortfolio today because it really has shaped me into becoming the educator I want to become today. This assignment, we were asked to reflect on our learning and development from the first day of college all the way to today. In this essay, I had to reflect and use visualization to show my growth as an educator and students. I used 4 images to relate on the concept, 3 hyperlinks, and 2 lesson plans, which you will see down below. There are 4 images and 2 lesson plans that I created in this class as well as other classes throughout my time in Laguardia. This assignment was assigned by Professor Natalie Williams. This assignment allowed me to connect research with education as well as introduce me to the relationship between written, spoken development of a child in culturally, academic, and linguistic diverse groups. Next, I would like to show you my peer advisor assignment. Thanks to LaGuardia Community College, I got the opportunity to be a peer advisor. One thing we did before coming to work here at LaGuardia Community College, we had to do a scavenger hunt. Throughout the scavenger hunt, we had to look at resources of other places in LaGuardia, such as the International Service or the Writing Center. I learned a lot throughout this process. I learned things that I did not know before becoming a peer advisor. As peer advisors, we are here to collect resources for students. We are also here to help with your ePortfolio, with college resource, and guide you to the right direction. In conclusion, I learned about my ePortfolio. It's very helpful for me. It helped me improve on my digital skills. It wasn't easy at first, but as an artist myself, I wanted to become a better person by expanding my creativity using digital, expanding it into digital. I show my ePortfolio to my friends and family because I am really proud of my ePortfolio. ePortfolio has really helped me to get job interviews and to be marketable in job interviews. I would like to take this moment to thank all of my professors, the ELA department, and my advisors to help me become one step closer into my goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Great work so far. We're going to now turn it over to Edward Molina, who is a liberal arts, math, and science. Edward, as you get ready to share your ePortfolio, it's great that we've seen so many different examples, all the way from mechanical engineering to therapeutic recreation to childhood education, and also the breadth of the different experiences that ePortfolio affords students, not only in the classroom, but outside the classroom as well. So it's really fantastic that we're seeing so many different examples. We're going to have time for a brief Q&A, but now I'm going to turn it over to our next presenter, Edward. Edward, let me go ahead and stop now, and you can now share your screen and get started. Thank you.
Can you see my screen? Yes.
Go ahead and hit the screen, the share button, and
The share
and then
button.
you will see.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Voila. Yes.
Yep. Now we can see
All
it.
right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Pablo, and welcome everyone to the Portfolio Showcase. My name is Edward Molina. I am from Guam, one of the 16 territories of the United States, along with Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, American Samoa. My major is liberal arts, math, and science. It is my third semester here at Laguardia, and I plan to graduate in the year spring 2021. Welcome. To begin, we're going to start with the About Me statement. Basically, this is just my initial thoughts of when I first entered LaGuardia. At the time, I didn't know exactly where I was going, what sort of plans I had. But what I did notice was the diversity amongst the LaGuardia students. I discovered that over 19,332 students did enroll at LaGuardia in the year of 2019 from about 151 countries. And I've had the opportunity to travel to just a fraction of that, which is 14. And so throughout my ePortfolio, you're going to see pictures of different countries that I traveled to. And this is to represent the diversity of students at LaGuardia. And if you scroll down to the bottom here, it's basically my future plans. Originally, it was Baruch, and then it changed to NYU, then it changed to Columbia, and now it's currently at Yale and Princeton University. You'll discover more as we go through the presentation. And then we're going to skip over to the Mapping Project tab. So this particular page is, it lists my strengths and my weaknesses. I did my best to be very honest with myself and list what they are. But most importantly, what made it special for me, it was actually this assignment, the Possible Lives Map, which I learned in the first year seminar class. This assignment honestly didn't make any sense to me because it was my freshman year. So of course, I listed my hobbies. I started off with breakdancing, and then I put reading books, and then hanging out with my girlfriend. And it surprised me to see how much that has changed over the year and a half that I've been updating my ePortfolio. On this map, you will see all the groups that I currently involve and will plan to join in the future. I started off with the Honor Student Advisory Committee, which is also known as HSAC. And then I joined the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society, which is also known as PTK. And then I was hired as an honors liaison with the ASAP program. And then I was also hired as a peer advisor with the Peer Advisor Academy. And then this fall, I look to becoming a ambassador with the President Society. And last but not least, the two schools that I plan to attend to, which is Yale and Princeton University. So this map helps me, and I still refer it today just to use as a visual aid to keep me on track. And then we're going to move on to the research paper tab, where you'll see a list of several papers. But the one that I'm most proud of is the Guam Sanahi, which is the new moon necklace from my hometown. So basically, it's a cultural necklace. Just to kind of give you an idea of how it looks. So it's the shape of a moon, a crescent moon, and it's made out of clamshell. And right here, this area here is made out of cone shells. Men wear the crescent moon shape. And then if you scroll here, you'll see two versions. So you'll see the crescent moon, which is for the men, but then the women also have their own version, which is the full moon, because it's believed that, women actually go through the full moon cycle. And so the research is based on how a single man decided one day he wants to fight against the United States. And so what he did was he managed somehow, some way to gather 20, 30, 40,000 people and ransack the governor's mansion, forcing the local government to take the United States to court for stolen lands. And the good news is that we've won, and we've been winning for the past couple of years, and slowly but surely, all the lands that were stolen are slowly given back to the people. And this particular man then became senator, and during his term, he influenced a lot of the laws and also changed a lot of the policies. And upon his death, which was just recently, actually, they have, this is him being arrested by the military. They've, in his honor, they built a statue, and also on that statue is actually the particular Sanahi necklace. So this necklace not only is a history of our political past, but it's also used as a a cultural object to remind our people of our long lost history and discover our tribal roots. This particular necklace is also now being introduced at the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. And in regards to Laguardia, my particular paper has been chosen to be part of an online exhibit to where Laguardia has been paid $10,000 by the Bard Graduate Center to showcase our cultural objects. And then we're going to scroll over to the highlight of what I call the highlight of my ePortfolio is dedication to all LaGuardia students who want to pursue the Ivy Leagues. So you'll see here Columbia University, Princeton University, Yale University, Brown University, Cornell University, as well as UPenn or Wharton. And so at the time, I felt that LaGuardia was very specialized when it came to transferring within CUNY schools. But I felt that it was, LaGuardia was very limited to information regarding transfers to private schools. So what I decided one day was to hop on a bus and take a 5-hour trip to and climb the mountains of Ithaca and hang out at Cornell University for about a good 2 hours. And then I decided to hop onto another bus and travel to Rhode Island, the neighboring state, and hang out at Brown University for another hour. I hopped onto a train to Connecticut, Yale University. I hopped onto another train to New Jersey, Princeton, and I also hopped into another train to UPenn, Pennsylvania. And of course, the one red line to Columbia and the yellow line NR to NYU. And the idea behind this project was to take the limited information that I felt was available at LaGuardia and take it back home and share it to students. And so we're to end things off here. We're gonna scroll back to the homepage. And right underneath the About Me statement, you will see my student success plan. And so much of the research and information that I've learned from all these Ivy Leagues or private universities, it actually relates to the student success plan. It lists all the classes. These are all confirmed classes that will be transferable to these Ivy Leagues, which I find very valuable. Also, it lists the professors that I've taken. I was surprised to discover that 61% of all professors at LaGuardia carry a PhD, which means that they're the masters in their fields. I call them the Jedis that are teaching, LaGuardia students, amateurs like us, how to become a master in our field. And And also too, it lists a whole bunch of honor classes that are required if you look to pursue an Ivy League education. I plan, or I look to complete 11 honor classes. You don't have to take that much. The minimum is 4. You do need to have a 3.5 GPA before you graduate. And then most importantly, you have to be part of groups at Laguardia, the groups that I've mentioned on the Possible Lives map, the HSAC, PTK, ASAP program, the Peer Advisor Academy, and Present Society. And so, much of the research has already been done for you. So if you're this type of student that, likes to hang out with your friends or go to the mall and shop at H&M, or maybe take a plane ride to Las Vegas and hit the slot machines, this plan is not for you. But if you're that type of student who is very serious about their education and literally want to change your life, I've dedicated my ePortfolio for students just like you, and I invite you to, really follow this plan that I've worked so hard to gather. And if you have any questions, please reach out to the ePortfolio department, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edward, and thanks to all of our presenters. Let me just move on right here. And this back on the screen. So this is a Q&A time. I wanted to take a moment to, first of all, thank all of our presenters, virtual clapping for all of you for the excellent work, and also congratulations to your faculty, to your professors for doing the incredible work that they have done to this point, which you have demonstrated. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Thomas, who has a couple of questions for our presenters. But before I do that, I wanted to take a moment to read some of the comments, both from the chat here on Zoom and then also on Facebook. Ali Abdallah from the CTL says, Joi's site is particularly comprehensive and beautiful. I like her skills page. It explains a lot about her. Very nice. Professor Olga Calderon also says, great job, Joy, impressive. Professor Nicole Fernandez, very impressive, Edward. Carrie from Education, I think, this page is visually stunning and a great way to show this project. Fantastic work. Ali, again, very impressive ePortfolio from Nancy. I really like her work. Professor Deborah Robinson, Edward, always a thoughtful visionary. Great work. Joanne Watson from Education as well. I love what you are focused on, Vygotsky and Brunner, Nancy. Question for you. And I think we're going to start with this question, right, Thomas? Let's see. So let me pose this question right here for Nancy, sure, our presenter. From John Watson, do you think you will ask your own students, once you become an educator, to create their ePortfolios? And if so, why?
Yes, so I 1000% do recommend students to use their ePortfolios. And the reason why, I think it's like a great way to show interviewers how much work you've done throughout the whole college semester. And also, it's an ePortfolio. Like, you can make it as creative as you want, and just by someone opening your ePortfolio, you can really see their personality. I know job interviews can be like nerve-wracking and whatnot, but like you can break the ice by showing an ePortfolio, and it's like impressive. You show everything that you've done throughout all these years to get here.
Great, thank you. Absolutely. The portfolio not only allows you to share all of that work, but at the same time discover your own skills, your own goals, and discern the best career and educational journey for you. Thomas, I'm going to turn it over to you, sure, for a couple of additional questions for our presenter.
Sure. So we have a question coming from Karen Gonzalez. She's saying, Joy, amazing ePortfolio. She just wants to know, have you created an electronic ePortfolio in a previous college? If not, what were your initial thoughts in creating this ePortfolio when you got to LaGuardia? And what does this ePortfolio mean to you in your third year?
Okay, so I have created ePortfolio before, but it was the previous version. And in the previous version, there was not a lot of things that you can do with it. It was very difficult to change anything, backgrounds. But this version, you can really customize it to whatever you want, which is really great. And also, let's see. Also, so right now I'm in almost done with my program, and I'm just it's just really great to always keep track of your work. And it's also really good to kind of look back on what I have done so far, what I was able to achieve so far. And it's great to just like see it with your own eyes. A new portfolio, one page, everything organized, everything's there. So I believe that's what the portfolio means to me right now.
Thomas, I think you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. We have a question coming in from Joshua Goldblatt. Joshua says, these are all wonderful ePortfolios. Since I consider the panelists experts, I'm curious if they have other ideas on activities or new ePortfolio features to help students explore majors and career paths. So this is a question that's open to any one of you.
I can answer the question.
Sure, go ahead.
So for the the portfolios kind of for me happened by accident. So what started off as like just getting a simple A in class, then it became this tool to where I could just invite my friends and then they can see what classes I'm taking and we could all end up in the same class. And then later it led to this Ivy League project of like hopping on a bus and traveling on a train. And then later so it's like a tool to not only share, and then now it's like also an academic journal. It's also a memoir to kind of like I could see my progress. I could read back on my papers and say, hey, I thought a certain way like a year and a half ago, and then now I'm thinking a different way. So what has changed? And my change is my education. And so for the ePortfolio, what I suggest and what I've actually been doing is that I've taken my whole entire ePortfolio and like turned it and converted into a hyperlink. So underneath my name, you'll find my phone number, you'll find my email address, but underneath that, you'll see the word ePortfolio hyperlink. And so when I do contact Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and all these other schools for admissions, there's and it has happened, they would like click onto the ePortfolio. I've been offered a job at Columbia working in admissions as well as financial aid. And I think, I've also helped a student to where he wanted to become a chef. So he is, he's kind of studying in the culinary field. So now what he's doing is he's actually like revamping his whole entire ePortfolio, because he's come to understand that the ePortfolio, in my opinion, is actually better than a resume. A resume is just a piece of paper with your name, a list of companies, and a bunch of dates. And that's it. But the ePortfolio, on the other hand, it's more of an illustration of like who you are as a person. Your personal thoughts are there. You have pictures. You have like, all the hard work you've done at LaGuardia. So when a hiring manager looks at this and they see your hard work, they can equate that into what you will do in their company in the future. So instead of waiting for for that call for that hiring manager based on that piece of paper that's sitting in front of them, once the minute they click onto the portfolio, guess what? Your interview has just started right at that point. Yes. So that's thank you.
Thank you, Edward. I think we have another question, Thomas.
Yes, we have a question for Yenitza. How do you see using your ePortfolio in the future?
This ePortfolio, I'm glad to have make an ePortfolio. It's very different from using any other kind of website that will help you network, like LinkedIn. But this one is different because it actually shows off all of the work that you have done and also the skills that you have doing that work. So this is great for marketing myself in job interviews and just showing them what I can provide for that field work that I will be choosing.
All right, good. We also have another question coming from Professor Olga Calderon, and this is for any one of the presenters. She states that we can see the professional growth through your ePortfolios. Do you feel there was any personal transformation? If so, give us some idea how this experience has changed you. So this is open to any one of you.
I guess I can answer this question. Sure. So when I was studying in Korea, I was obviously studying Spanish, which is very different from mechanical engineering. So I was originally really interested in science, but it's really competitive to study science in Korea. And basically they kind of weed out anybody who doesn't really have a good scores on like math and science exams. And so I was not one of the chosen few who get to study science, even though I really wanted to. And so after I got here, I studied all this science subjects and math subjects, and I thought I was bad, but turns out I was actually really kind of good at these things, and I was able to understand these things, which was really amazing to me because I was kind of used to kind of getting like berated, I guess. Like everyone was like, oh, like you can't study this, like you're bad at maths. And I was like, okay, I guess I am. And then like, guess what? You are not really. You just had to try a little bit harder. And so I think there was like this personal transformation of kind of believing in myself. Before I didn't even try, and then I just assumed that I can't do it. I can't be like an inventor or anything like a scientist as I wanted to be when I was a little kid. But so like when I publish my work that I did in my science classes on my ePortfolio, it's really great because I can see that I was able to do it. I was able to kind of prove to myself that I can do it. So it's really great to kind of reassure myself over and over, because sometimes it's engineering classes are really hard, and sometimes I feel like I can't do it, but just looking back at myself, looking back at all the work I have done, really gives me like a confidence boost to like, I can do it. Just need to try a little bit harder. Yeah.
I think you're muted, Thomas.
Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting to unmute myself. So we have one more question that's coming in from Derek Chu. Derek asks, what helped you change the way you see and use your ePortfolio? And what was the eureka moment that led you to take your EP to higher limits? So this question's open to any one of you.
Yeah, may I?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, let me see. So, you know, like for my ePortfolio, it became a sharing platform to help a lot of Laguardia students. And so, on top of like LaGuardia being a diverse school, I've also learned that there's different types of students at LaGuardia. You had students that's straight out of high schools that still live with their parents. You have students who live on their own and pay their own bills, which is not easy. And then you have students with children, which I have high respect for. And then also you have adult students, returning students. And the eldest I've met is around like maybe like 56 or 57 years old. And so, with the ePortfolio, like I've created this hyperlink and I went over to Columbia University. And, you know, like upon my visit, you know, I discovered that their school was way too expensive and for like LaGuardia students to afford. And so I started kind of like arguing with the director of financial aid. And so I proposed that they give LaGuardia about $500,000. And so, of course, he's like, well, you know, that's a lot of money. Let's think about, you know, I'm going to have to think about it. And so the next week I came back and then I started to kind of harass him again. And a lot of like, you know, a lot of my motivation comes from the type of students that are at LaGuardia. They're bright and talented and very smart, but they're limited to financial resources, which I don't think is quite fair. And so, you know, that second visit, it was the same situations, $500,000. Let's, you know, I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to have to contact a couple of people and see what we can do. Okay, no problem. And then the third week, surprisingly, as soon as I walk into the door, the director of financial aid says, hey, you know, how was Egypt? I was like, Egypt, how do you know? He's like, well, I clicked onto your ePortfolio. I was like, oh, really? Yes. And I was like, well, you know, yeah, I rode a camel for the first time. I named her Daisy. It is a religious country. And, you know, in honor of their prophet, most men, over 90% men, are named Muhammad. And yeah, and I actually discovered that there's a building that was taller than the Empire State Building, which is the pyramid, which is super old. But that kind of led to a, you know, that kind of opened doors for, you know, to kind of negotiate that $500,000 that I was, you know, pushing for. But a lot of this kind of led to, you know, I guess my passion for trying to help LaGuardia students achieve, you know, the highest education possible for the least amount of money. And so this has changed. The ePortfolio for me is kind of like a memoir to you know, like an academic journal to see how much I've changed.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All right. So does anyone else have a response to that question? No? Okay. So I guess that we will, I'll pass it back over to Pablo.
Yeah, and thank you. And thanks again to all the presenters, virtual clapping to each of you and to your professors for doing amazing, amazing work. There's a lot of comments both on Facebook and on the chat praising the outstanding work and cross-disciplinary work that you've demonstrated today. So we want to make sure our audience, thank you for sticking with us even when we are a little bit beyond our time. The portfolios of the presenters that you have just seen are now available in our ePortfolio website. The URL is there in the screen, and my colleague Thomas is going to post the link in the chat in just a few moments. And we hope that you can have a time to check them out. At one point, visit and see the pages that they have showcased today, and also see the rest of the work that they have completed. These portfolios will be available publicly. The presenters have agreed to give us that permission so that everyone gets to see not only their work, but how it represents the core ePortfolio practice at LaGuardia. And with that, we want to remind you once again to follow us on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. If you are coming from outside LaGuardia, thank you so much for having attended our session, our virtual showcase. If you are from LaGuardia, these resources are particularly helpful to you because you will find tutorials, guides, and different kinds of things. So a shout out again to our ePortfolio team and for the amazing work. Thank you to the presenters, thank you to the faculty, and thanks for everyone for attending our session. I hope everyone stays safe and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.